Dappa-doo, dappa-doo, two white guys in a wheelchair.
Hello.
Hey,
How's it going?
good. How are you?
Good, good. So, tell me a bit about who
How's
you
your day
are.
going? How's your day going?
My day is going good. Very busy.
Yep.
Kind of exhausting.
I know.
I over-caffeinated this morning, so I'm a bit jittery.
This time of year is it sucks. Actually though, because it's not spring yet. It's still winter, and all I'm thinking about is what I want to do in the spring and the summer. And like I know other places are nice too, but right now we don't have that.
Yeah, it's fall spring.
It's fall spring.
Yeah.
So I'm just like once I get close to like my birthday, that's when I'm like, okay, it's go time. But anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of that April time is when it starts to warm up and actually.
Oh, then you're good to go.
Yeah, but I don't know. Beginning of March, this definitely sucks because it's all slush everywhere. There's a mixture of like a lot of snow and ice everywhere.
I got my haircut done yesterday, and I couldn't get a cab to go home. So I had to buzz from West Hills to my house, and I literally thought I had frostbite.
Yeah, it was like
It sucked.
Yeah, it was like
minus 15.
Yeah.
And like I was hauling ass. And like you said, super slushy out, so it's like half the sidewalks aren't even. I was on the road for half the time, holding up traffic.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, like I gotta go on the. I'm like pointing at the sidewalk. Like,
yeah.
It's not feasible.
You need like a set of blinkers and like brake and reverse lights or something like that. I know.
It'd be a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, I've definitely been thinking about that a lot more recently. One, like hanging out with you, but two, the biggest thing in terms of thinking about accessibility, in terms of like physical accessibility into to places and from places, it was I was with a friend in Las Vegas, and he was messing around with one of those scooters that you see people like drive around like Walmart or whatever.
Okay, yeah. They're like they're like lounger scooters.
Yeah. And so, he didn't really need it or anything. He was just kind of fucking around.
You're playing with it.
Yeah.
It's a toy, basically.
Yeah. And we decided we were in one of the hotels somewhere, and we decided to go somewhere like kind of across the strip.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty insightful, and for me, I was a little embarrassed. I'm like, fuck, man, like, what are you doing here? Like, you don't need this. Like, we could just walk. But it was pretty insightful into like how, like, what is like a struggle it is to be like, if you were in a wheelchair to like get from one place to the other. Like,
it depends. Like, obviously, having been in this situation for like coming up on 8 years.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of time, but you figure it out. Like, the cabs here are super helpful.
Yeah.
Having my van is very clutch. But you're right. Like, if you look at like a sidewalk, half the time it's not even level.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm gonna take a chance, like getting like off this street onto the sidewalk, and like God help me if I don't.
Have you tipped over?
Yep.
Before?
I had one really bad one where I like completely like fell over.
Yeah.
And that sucked.
What happens when that happens?
Okay, so I was on my way to my mom's house, and I was basically there, like literally like 50 yards out.
Yeah.
And on the sidewalk, there's like a patch of ice, and I was going pretty fast.
Yeah.
And to the right of the sidewalk was like shrubs and like
Tokyo
mulch,
Drift.
basically. I ended up going, and I like spun out, and I like caught a patch of like hard, like dry sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it gripped it, but it like turned me, and I basically just like ended up slowly like tipping out of the chair.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I had time to be like, fuck, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah.
And I just like slowly landed.
Yeah.
And it was at the point where like I know I couldn't use my phone, and I'm not getting up, so I'm just gonna lie there.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not yelling. I'm fuck this. I am way
Just gonna wait for someone to show up.
I'm just gonna wait for someone to help me.
Yeah. How long did you have to wait?
Maybe like 10 minutes.
Oh shit.
Some guy came up. He's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm great."
Was he able to like
No.
lift you up, put you back in the chair?
He was like, "What do I do here?" And I was like, "Just call 911."
Okay.
I was
fair.
like, I could have probably called my mom, my brothers, and everyone, and like rallied the troops, but I was in no mood.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
and so does like did an ambulance came?
A fire truck came. They lifted me up. They're like, do you need to like go to the hospital? And I was like, no. Like, they're like, did you hit your head? And I was like, well, yeah. They're like, all right, like we're not taking a chance on you. Like, you're going.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Just not a very fun situation all around.
No. That is a bad. Like I've like there's two types of falling for me, I guess. Like completely like bailing and the chair falls too, or I just like hunch over the chair.
Okay. Yeah.
But that is a lot better.
Like just hunching over the chair, then being like thrown out of the chair and the chair
for sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, accessibility, stairs are a huge issue because there's oftentimes not a lot of ramps to a lot of places, or even just like little, like it doesn't seem huge, but if there's like one lip before you like get into a restaurant or a bar or something, that's a huge issue.
Yeah, like it can, and it's like those little things too, where it's like it goes from being like, oh yeah, this is a great day to like, oh fuck, because that's what we noticed while we were doing this thing, in Las Vegas was we got pretty much 3/4 of the way there, and then it was only stairs. It was like a 2 to 3 stair thing. And like at this point, it was kind of like the mission to like get there on this scooter, and we had to backtrack almost halfway before we found an alternate route that was going to work.
Vegas is apparently really good for accessibility,
and I think it is. It was just interesting because like even really good places, there's still barriers.
There's obviously like obstacles that'll wherever you go. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. What? I'm blanking here.
What's on the computer there?
Oh, it's a little document about our podcast.
You want to break it down for me?
Yeah.
Get some water.
Yeah. So the first thing is, this is kind of, it's just like an outline of, and you know, Eric and I did this before, so sorry to bury the lead, everyone. But we're gonna go over it so that you know the people at home can know what we're trying to do here.
What we're about, who we are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So describe our podcast in one sentence. So we have about 5 sentences to describe that because we couldn't. The first one is a podcast about interviewing cool and interesting people from Calgary that we believe can contribute to the constructive and positive social narrative where we can get down to the nitty-gritty and follow the conversation wherever it goes.
I think that's a perfect little synopsis of our podcast.
Yeah. I think so as well too.
A lot of time and labor went into that.
Yeah. We didn't just chat GPT that one.
No, we did not.
Although we have used that to help us a little bit, guide us in direction. But,
it's a tool.
It's a tool, exactly.
It is.
It's a tool. And
a lot of schools are complaining about it right now.
Yeah. We're just, Eric and I are actually great prompt engineers. So if anyone is hiring a prompt engineer, look no further.
You got it.
Yeah, I was just talking with my girlfriend today, and they were saying that Turnitin, which is the big anti plagiarism software that a lot of the universities use, are collaborating with OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, to try and crack down on it. But I don't know. I think it might be a bit of a Pandora's box that they unleashed. So we'll see if they're successful at it.
Well, there's a ton of them now.
Yep.
Hey, Google has their own. Well, is that Chat?
No, Google has their own, but I don't know if they've released it to the public or anything.
I think there's a few now.
there's a couple smaller ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just used the ChatGPT, and then
Same here.
and then Microsoft is trying to put it into Bing.
Oh,
Yeah, so Bing is trying to.
that'd be a big one.
Yeah, we'll see if they're gonna still be a joke in the next couple years here. Yeah.
Okay, so that's our first sentence.
Yeah. So basically, the way I kind of describe it is, it's a podcast about people kind of in our city, Calgary, who are doing interesting or neat things that Eric and I find interesting or neat, and also interviewing people who are tangentially connected to us in some way. So we've had a couple guests so far.
Yep.
And they've been really exciting and fun to chat with and catch up with. Because some people we haven't seen in a while, and
Yeah, it's a really intimate process when you get to, interview someone that you haven't seen in a while and just kind of talk about, whatever it may be.
yeah, how life has slapped them around.
Yeah.
Because
It's
life,
like a different format too.
yeah.
It's like not, like he never, Alfred, for example, had never done a podcast before. So.
Yeah, and getting people who, that's the thing too, is like
Yeah.
getting people who maybe haven't been exposed to this format before on, and because I think when it comes down to it, Eric and I know some interesting people and some people who are doing
sure.
cool stuff. And
What did you think about what he had to say?
I thought it was really interesting.
It's a lot of money
Yeah,
that they're playing around with.
yeah, and I think it's just big projects and a lot of people, and I think
Have you read up on what they're doing out in Nova Scotia since?
no, not since that interview.
It's pretty interesting stuff, hey?
Yeah.
Like,
For the listeners who don't know, this is Alfred Sorensen. He was a guest on our podcast a
the
couple.
CEO and of Paraday Energy.
Yeah, cool guy doing big stuff.
Yep.
We had a great interview with him. What were you going to say? I cut you off.
No, that's fine. I can't even remember, but I'll just first go on a podcast. I think that went well.
Yeah. He was our first in studio
Yep.
interview. We've had a couple in person on Eric's iPad, and
This is it's been a work in progress getting them,
and over Google Meet.
yes.
Yeah, but
They've been working out, and you know what? It's a process, and I'm glad that we have our wonderful background AJ.
Shout out to AJ.
Shout out. And then we're working with each other because, like I said, like you said, our podcast is about interesting and cool people that can, contribute to, when it gets down to it, each other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%.
What else do you got on the old laptop there?
Why are the reasons you want to create this? Well, I guess we kind of got into that.
Yeah, we did.
You go first.
Well, I think at the end of the day, I just want to have fun and talk to people I like and end up helping someone along the way if I can.
Yeah.
So that'd be the main reason I'm doing it, is to, hopefully something I say or, someone hears something that we're talking about and they get something out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for me, I just want to be famous. I really just want, to be in the movies, and I feel like this is good for my career. My main goal is to blow up.
Yeah, I'd like to ideally, we start the podcast, sell out for a few 100 million.
Yeah.
And then, through 5 or 6 major achievements along the way, and then we're good.
Yeah, and then retire, buy an island somewhere, and
I was thinking somewhere in the Maldives.
Ooh. My only problem with the Maldives, well, I guess it doesn't matter because you're long commute back home. Like if you wanted to come back home.
But ideally, I would just have my own little, community ecosystem there where I
In the
would just
Maldives. Yeah.
have my own island.
Yeah.
My own turtles.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'd probably buy just like
Because those are the ones with the little cabins, all like above the water.
I have no idea. Maybe. I think so.
For sure.
Like on the stilts, and then
Yeah,
you like kind of walk out to them, kind of thing.
And they're like built on
Yeah,
the coast. Yeah, they're sick.
that'd be kind of nice. Well,
That'd be cool.
it'd be interesting though. We got to check the accessibility of them, see if they're wheelchair accessible.
That would be very dangerous.
For you.
Yes. Just
Oh shit.
that reminds me. Remember when we were in Denver and we went over that little bridge?
Yep.
Jesus. Crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, nothing like a little risk to keep you alive.
yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But
But that might have been a stupid risk.
Thinking about maybe might have been a little should have thought about it before, but hey, I did it well.
Yeah, you did really well. For those of you who don't know, when Erik initially had his accident and broke his neck, he was in a hospital down in Colorado, and I went to go down and visit him, and him and I went for a walk,
A little jaunt,
and there might have been another person there, but I can't remember.
Yep.
If that person was there or not.
Not sure.
Yeah, but Erik and I, we went on a little jaunt, and we went to a park. We ended up going to a park that was nearby.
Really nice park, super big.
Yeah, and had a little kind of
stream
wandering a creek
yeah,
down by the creek. Yeah, and it had it was kind of sketchy, but not crazy sketchy. It had
was a stable bridge.
Yeah, it had a little bridge going over one of the crossovers
It was just somewhat narrow.
Yeah, it was pretty. Well, yeah, it was really narrow. I think. So if Erik were to take his chair, which I think it's the similar or
it was about the width.
Yeah, it's about the same width of this chair that's here with us now. And he he went up and it was pretty much his wheels were, I can't remember if they were basically
inches. It was maybe centimeters.
Yeah, and so he was, and for those of you who have never driven a wheelchair before, or a motorized electric powered
power chair.
A power chair. Sorry, the technical term. Yeah.
Did you say electric chair?
Electric. Oh, no, not that. Not that. Yeah. A little power chair. It's pretty sensitive to your hand movements at points. And so you can kind of jolt going a direction that you're not necessarily intending pretty easily.
It's a very sensitive beast.
Yeah. And so as Erik kind of moved along, there was a couple times where we thought, oh shit, he's going over.
Oh God.
But he was able to
steady
and make it over the bridge. And I think because how old were we?
I would have been 19.
Yeah, that's probably like a prime example of the prefrontal cortex not being fully developed, because Erik was down there, and I was just his friend being like, yeah, come on,
let's do
this, yeah, this is sick, go Erik,
let's go for jump next.
Yeah, not realizing like, oh, okay, it's like you've gotten really hurt.
Yeah,
he's just recovering from his
major
spinal injury, and then just freaking having another big fall after that wouldn't have been good. But it doesn't matter because he got over it and it was fine. We went back to the hospital and
he beats up.
Yep.
So. That was good. It was a crazy time down there though. It was very eye-opening.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, it was just like so the Craig Hospital down in Denver, Colorado, specializes in spinal injuries and neurological injuries.
Yeah.
And you get all types of injuries down there. And when you hear, he broke his neck or he broke his back, you think that's what it is. But every single injury is different. To like very specific, very small differences.
Yeah, it's kind of like a snowflake.
Exactly. So you see lots of different types of people and what they're able to do and what they can't do. So you get a lot of, it's pretty humbling because you're like, I can move this way whenever I want, however I want, but this guy can't even move anything below his neck. And that's a lot to see. But it was a good time though. Like for
all things considered,
because I learned a lot about myself and about the injury and what I need to do to be able to take care of myself. And you meet a lot of good people down there. A lot of people that I met down there I'm still in touch with, and I think about them often because, I don't know. It was crazy, but I needed to go down there. I'm glad I did. So yeah, that's a bit about.
So do you know why?
Yep.
And I would imagine this is largely like,
Yep.
I guess consider it was with you, but your parents played a big role
Yep.
in
For sure.
Do you know why the decision was made to go down to the States rather than stay in Canada?
So basically, to what to my understanding, it's that hospital specifically, like Craig, specialized in these types of injuries, whereas Foothills, they had a general like rehab facility.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and like you said,
it's just not up to the same standard or
specific to the
and
injury.
they just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So nothing against Foothills. ICU saved my life at Foothills. And the doctors and nurses I had there were phenomenal, and I have nothing but gratitude for them. But in terms of the rehab side of things, it was just different, way different.
Yeah.
They didn't have the same amount of experience as Foothills, whereas Craig they'd been doing it for however long they'd been open for. So yeah. But it was a lot, but it was I'm glad I went down there.
Yeah. So maybe kind of moving off this point a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll eventually get back to our template.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
I wanted to maybe give the viewers an idea of where our relationship begins and kind of
Absolutely
how we know each other. So what was the first time you remember seeing me or meeting me?
First time I remember seeing you would have been in gym class in probably grade 5. And I remember we were all kind of getting in our classes. Everyone's kind of figuring out who everyone is. And I just remember seeing you in gym, and you were a freak, and you were better at a lot of stuff than me, so I kind of hated you. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, you
Fuck you,
were
Raiden.
you were a physical specimen when in high school and junior high and as a kid. Like you were good at sports.
Yeah.
That's my first memory of Raiden.
Okay. My first memory of you is it probably would have been the same year. And so I think I went to Calgary Academy in grade 5.
Yep.
That's when I moved there.
That would have been 2000 and
oh man, I don't even know. I didn't get the mental math gene. So.
Me either.
A while ago.
I'm gonna do this. So I came in 2003.
Okay.
That was in grade. That was in 2005.
Okay. And that was grade
3.
Grade 3. Okay,
Yep.
so grade 4 would have been 2006, 2007.
Yeah,
And
something like that.
And then grade 5 would have been 2008, 2009.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess that makes sense.
I think so.
Yeah, so
we're gonna be wrong, I bet.
Yeah, 100%. Probably like 2010 or 2001 or something.
I remember 2010 really well because that was the year Sidney Crosby golden goal.
Oh, nice.
The Olympics.
Yeah. I remember that. Drew McGinley.
Do you know where you were?
With the assist.
Yep.
I can't remember where I was. I think I was at one of my grandparents' house.
I was in the basement with my dad.
Yeah.
Watching the game. He was freaking out when we won.
Yeah. It was pretty sick.
It was really cool.
Yeah. I do remember that. Not as much as I remember Game 6, Calgary Flames, Tampa Bay Lightning, 04.
Yeah, I
Stanley
remember
Cup
that
playoffs.
very well.
I remember I was at the game.
Yeah. You were there?
Yep.
In Tampa Bay?
No. Sorry. I was there for the Game 6. I was in the dome.
Wait.
I was young as fuck. I was very young, and I remember the two things I remember was walking through the parking lot, and there was a truck that when it revved its engine, like a flame would shoot out of it.
That's sick.
So that's in my memory. Yep. And then I remember because we were kind of up high looking down.
Yeah. So you were there for the goal.
I was there for the goal. I remember that it was like It was super exciting.
It
It
was
was really, I remember the excitement and then the disappointment of them losing. That's the things I remember.
That's a tough.
And then I remember watching the game 7 and be like, just like, you know, when you like try to will your team to win. And I feel like every Flames fan feels this to some extent, where you, especially if you've been a Flames fan for,
it's
a while.
It's a very tough feeling. Like you go, and we're used to it by now. It's been the same thing for the past 25 years or however long. Anyways, I don't know. It's at the point where I'm never gonna cheer for another team, but I'm not optimistic right now. But to go back to
just wait till they make the playoffs next, and then they're making they're winning the cup, boys. They're winning the cup.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. As long as they like I'm so jealous of Jackson Grant, our friend, who we also went to school with. He's a diehard Toronto Raptors fan. They won. They went out, they got Kawhi Leonard, and they won. And that was a really cool playoff push.
Well, I don't know I agree that was cool, but I think what will be, I don't know, I think the Flames have potential here because they're getting rid of their GM, they're getting rid of their
most likely. I think.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
we shall see.
We shall see.
You know, maybe
it's got to be a clean slate pretty soon here because in a couple of years, I think it's Lindholm, Toffoli, Zadorov. Lucic comes off this year, so at the end of the season, his contract.
Who hires the GM?
Used to be the president of the team. Murray Edwards is the majority owner, but I don't think he's. I have no idea how involved he is, but I don't think he'd be out there.
All right. Yeah.
Looking for GM, so I think it's the president.
Okay.
And that used to be King. Rest in peace, but he passed away a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Or it was last year, something along those lines. But now I think it's a guy named something Bean.
Okay.
He's
the president.
Yeah, so it'd be him.
All right, Mr. Bean.
Yep.
Do a good job, please.
I'm available.
Yeah, we're please hire Eric Dixon for GM.
I'm certified in general management through sports management worldwide.
Nice. .com.
Yep.
Yeah, that or Mr. Bean, either hire Eric or just source your GM decisions through Twitter polls.
You know who I think
one of those two things, please.
Yeah, Twitter polls is very helpful.
Yeah, I think the Flames community Twitter could make some good decisions.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I also think that they should hire Craig Conroy. He should be the full-time GM. That's my pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he's the assistant GM right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk saying that he could, fill the big boy shoes. And I think it's his turn.
Nice. He played for the Flames, didn't he? Yeah.
Big time. He was a big player.
Yeah.
He was the captain. They gave it to Iggy.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember because I think I was a big. So the players I was really a big fan of was obviously Iginla. But I think I was a big fan of. Oh no, not really. I think I liked Craig Conroy, but I really liked. Was it Martin Jelena?
Martin Jelena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of him.
He was awesome.
Yeah, and then as well, my who I was the biggest fan of all time, Robin Regeer. Cause you know why? You know why?
Why?
Because if you look at my ears, they kind of stick out of my head a little bit. And I think
Robin Regeer.
He was a guy that had his ears stick out from his head. And I
bit.
really identified with that. he was my boy.
Hey, he was awesome. I don't know what he's up to now. I thought he was involved with minor hockey somewhere, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Good guy though.
Yeah.
What else is on the computer there?
All right, if we go back there. Oh, wait, before we go back to the computer, we were going to say, okay, so we know each other from elementary school.
Yep.
And we've obviously Eric was intimidated by me at first because I was a freak of nature sport athlete.
Yep.
which, I don't think I describe myself as that, but thanks, Eric. I appreciate that.
Well, don't sell yourself short. Remember high school basketball? You were a menace on D.
Yeah.
Very. And did you play football at Central? Because you went there for grade 11.
I went to one practice, and then it was, the time commitment was too much. And then I was also kind of sucked at football, so I was like,
what position did you want to play?
I don't know, guys. I played football in grade 7 for the Falcons, which was like a community team.
Yep.
Go Falcons. I don't know if they still exist, but go them.
Play for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that was the big rivalry. Yeah. And then I just did 1 year of that. We actually won provincials that year, which was pretty sick. And then we went to and then in grade 10 I went to a tryout. I think I went to 2 tryouts, maybe just one. And then, I just kind of sucked. I wasn't in very good shape.
It's hard.
Yeah, and
it's a hard sport. And if you don't want to get yelled at,
yeah, I didn't. 2 things. I don't really like getting yelled at, and I don't really like getting hit that much. Like, I can take a bit of a body. Like, basketball is a physical game. You're bumping people, but it's
but it's not a full contact.
Yeah, it's not a full contact. The purpose is to hit the guy.
Yeah,
and it's so. I honestly didn't really like that too much. So
I remember trying out for football, and I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and I just hated it so much. I had no idea what was going on, and I was like, okay, what's the plan here?
Yeah, it's way different on the field for sure than watching it. It's
it's very.
The only time I was more confused was when I played a rugby game, or later on in university. Yeah. I can't remember being
rugby is also John, my middle brother John is really good at rugby.
Yeah, all the people I know who play rugby freaking love rugby.
It's a cool game. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and then I understand it now after being explained to me for a million times, and then but when I went onto the field, I was like, I have no idea what's going on, and then again it's about just getting hit pretty much.
I know and there's barely any equipment.
Yeah, I actually saw a thing.
Equipment?
I saw
rugby.
You can wear a kind
of
a
jock or something.
Yeah, and a specialized helmet.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Right. It's almost like a wrestler's helmet kind of looking thing.
Those, yeah.
But it's not that much clearer. I saw this thing that in terms of football, I don't know if this is real or not.
Yeah.
Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah.
That in rugby there's more injuries but less severe injuries, and in football there's less injuries but in terms of severe injuries there's more. Yeah. Just because I think you learn to get hit a little bit, and then you don't have the the padding, because I think for the padding it's just
you can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I wanted to say before we move on to point number 3, when I first saw you. Yeah. Or what I remember, at least, because what I remember is at recess. It'd be at recess, and Eric was also kind of in the group of kids who would play wall ball, and there would always be something different. It would be wall ball, football, basketball. Depends on kind of what was going on, or grounders on the playground or something like that. And I remember Eric was the social butterfly. He knew everyone, and everyone liked him. That's what I remember from you. He was you were early diplomat.
I think that'd be an accurate description, because I don't know, I see it I'd like to think I was friends with most people.
Yeah.
And there were a few different groups, but I was a part of several of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I remember, was that Eric could and I found it really inspiring, because I was like, oh damn, that'd be cool to be able to be, because I was in for the people who know me or remember me back then, I was like I said, a freak, but not necessarily really a freak, but just super shy and really quiet.
You were pretty reserved, but we broke you out of your shell.
Yeah, but that took several years for me to do. And even through high school, it's there was times where I'd be okay, a little back, but then I eventually emerged from my cocoon a little bit.
I think you did. I think you really did.
Yeah, but early on, and especially now, you can't shut me up. I'll talk forever now.
Well, at a certain point, we sort of run that place.
Yeah.
CA was...
oh, this is your perspective. Okay, let's go.
Well, on Calgary Academy, I think at a certain point, I don't know how it is now, obviously, but I think when we were there, it was pretty easy to get away with. You know,
Oh,
not that we get in trouble, but I mean,
yeah,
it got to a point where teachers were pretty lenient on stuff we would do and say.
yeah,
I would think.
yeah. Maybe.
You don't think?
I don't really remember that much.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember just, I don't know, like we would talk to teachers as if they were friends.
Yeah. Yeah. And
For a
I
lot
think
of the
I think they were in a lot of
Yeah.
the time for
Like Shugraf, Hallwell,
yeah.
Carmen.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I
Great-
remember.
Great people.
Yeah.
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 I remember, the basketball trips. Those were good times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to Edmonton.
Yeah, those were sick. And there was the one guy who would dunk. There was like there would be like a
On our team.
No. There'd be like a rally
Oh, yeah.
for
The dunk
the high
contest.
school, whichever high school we went to in Edmonton, and then
Yeah.
there was like one teacher or
Yeah,
coach or someone, and he
Who,
was the
like,
one guy
played
who
pro.
could dunk.
Yeah.
And then one year we went, and there was a student who could almost dunk.
Yeah.
And so he would go, and then I don't think he actually ended up dunking, but then the teacher he would dunk.
Remember
So-
Davis did a backflip?
Yeah.
When he walked out onto the court.
Man, I'd love.
He got the crowd fired up, and
Yeah.
that kind of saved our team because, like, a lot of teams like came in with like music and a ton of hype,
Yeah.
and we did too. But then Davis did a backflip, and that I think that was
Yeah.
That was our
Shout out to
staple
Davis
for a
Taylor.
bit.
I don't know
Yeah.
where you are, but your
I don't know where he
backflips
is
were
either.
sick. I just wanted David every time like we were playing. It's like,
Yeah.
I just wanted him to do backflips. I thought it was the coolest thing.
imagine being able to do that on point.
I had one friend who was trying to like in university was trying to teach me, but it's
It's hard.
it's
and scary.
hard, and I don't know for whatever reason for me it was pretty challenging. I'm sure like if I put more time into it, I think I'd be able to do it, but
It's one of those things where people are just good at it, or
yeah,
you're not.
yeah. I don't know. I
You
think
can learn.
yeah.
But like I remember I did a backflip on skis several times.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know how to do a backflip.
yeah, you just kind of when on skis,
I
you just kind of
kinda
wing it.
You
Yeah.
just kind of wing it.
Yeah, it's
Or
like,
at
all right,
least I did.
I know I have to go backwards
Yeah.
and try and
But there's like
try and
actual
go
technique
try and
to
spin
and
it
I
spin
just-
it enough so I don't break my neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Sorry. No pun. Yeah. No pun intended.
no pun intended.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What do you mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
where were we?
Yeah. If anyone has a tutorial for doing backflips, especially like backflips in a wheelchair, leave it down in the comments
Did
below.
you see that video of the guy that
I
did
did
it?
see that. That was
On
pretty
skis?
sick. Oh no, not on skis.
He was
I
in
saw it on
a
like a.
wheel the like ski chair.
Oh.
He did it in because he broke
And he landed it.
Yeah.
That's
broke
pretty
his
sick.
back, and then he was like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it again."
Yeah, we should. I'm gonna look that up. But
We'll
no,
do it in
I've
a
seen the
power
guy.
chair.
I've seen the guy do it in a wheelchair in like a skate park.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
That was pretty.
Those are cool.
That was pretty cool. Okay, so moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was kind of what are the reasons you wanted to create this? Okay, you just heard us go on a massive tangent. Basically, what we have written is feels good to contribute to something and help people if they find any tidbits of advice. Listening to us at all ever,
Exactly.
and also to have fun. Like I said that I wanted to be famous, but I think more so.
It's go ahead.
I was just gonna say I freaking love talking to people,
It's fun.
and I love getting to know kind of what other people find interesting.
Like what makes people tick.
Yeah, and I really like kind of we live in an interesting time that this is relatively accessible for people to
Yeah.
do, and if I can do it, I want to do it. This seems like it's just like seems like it's so fun.
It's really cool, and it's a positive thing. You
Yeah.
know?
And then I think as well too, you can ask people because when you're just like when you're not podcasting or not recording it or whatever, and you're just shooting the shit with people. Sometimes like you in this
There's
format you can ask a bit deeper questions about things,
Yeah.
and people can will pause and
think about what
they want to say a little bit
sure.
more. And I think you can get a little bit deeper just based on like not necessarily the seriousness of it, but like
I get what you mean, the structure of it.
Yeah, and I really like that. So that's kind of my, I guess, like motivation a little bit. All right, 3.5. What is the mission / goal of the podcast?
That's such a broad question because I honestly don't know where I end up, like where I could see this going. All I know is that I like it a lot. I want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I hope it is super successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I think my goal is the same as it was. I think we're actually a little bit behind schedule, but get 2 to 3 interviews per week.
Yeah.
In the first year.
Like
I think that'll be.
Did you see? Yeah.
Did I see what?
Well, just that when I was talking to AJ, the 24 like get 2 a month in studio.
Yeah. Oh, like a little on the financing side.
Yeah, but
yeah. But I think. Go ahead.
But just doing it in general, I think is super awesome, and it's a great,
Yeah.
It's just I like it a lot. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Whom do we serve?
Whom do we serve? Well, we serve you guys.
Yeah, the listeners.
Our brave and loyal
slaves. I mean,
followers.
Followers. Yeah. I mean, followers. Yeah.
The king does not have friends. The king only has
our serfs,
followers, and foe. I was watching The King last night.
Oh, nice.
Very
the one with Timothée Chalamet.
Yep,
that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I like that one. He's so like small in it, and it's like he's like not what you think of, like kind of like kingly.
Rick Prime could take on at least 30 Timothée Chalamets at once.
Yeah. Rick Prime, as in Eric Dixon in front of me, not Rick Prime from Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
Rick Prime.
No, yeah, Rick Prime is me, but when I can walk.
Yeah.
Rick Prime.
Yeah. And then Rick.
Rick 3.
Yeah. No, right now we're at Rick 2.0.
Yep.
And then Rick 3.0 will be when you get the Neuralink in there, and you like can shoot like.
FDA declined Elon Musk's human trials first time.
Damn, he's got to put it in more monkeys, man.
Because they're worried about it overheating,
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be no good.
But I think that's something they'll be able to figure out. So, and they were expecting it. So,
yeah.
I think it's all right.
Next. Okay. How do we serve them?
How do we serve you guys? Well, you go ahead.
Oh, we have it right now. We provide them with content that is constructive and compelling.
Yeah, basically. I mean, we're fucking dope, and we can say a lot of cool shit. So
yeah, 100%. And as well, our guests, we bring on cool guests.
Yes.
Bring awareness and enjoyment to the topic of either their choosing or our choosing.
Yep.
And we also serve ourselves. We're honest about that. This is fun for us.
I like this.
Yeah. Vision
for the podcast.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing as
what we've been saying.
Yeah. Next one.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to write, this is pretty good. So,
good one.
So it says, like, what are your hopes and dreams for the podcast? So to make a common area where conversation penetrate the social fabric of Calgary so that difficult conversations can be discussed without judgment, criticism, and worry related to the subject matter.
It would be really cool if people in Calgary knew about us and we're talking about the things that we bring up.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, if we're talking about things that matter in Calgary and people, like, agree, like, I think that'd be really cool.
I think so too. Like people
not necessarily agree with us all the time, but if they're listening to what we're saying, and our opinion actually has some weight at some point, I think that'd be really cool.
I think that'd be cool too. And then I like, because Calgarians, they come from all walks of life. Like it's a very cosmopolitan city. There's lots of people who come from different places here, but also people who are from here who have different experiences with the city, and everyone's experience is a little bit different, right?
I agree.
And I think for me, what I'd like to show with the podcast is that no matter who you are as a human, there's going to be lots of things that are different about you that should be celebrated, but there's also a lot of common themes that bring us that everyone shares.
I completely agree.
Yeah, and I think just, highlighting that, because I think part of why, like, I think I want to do this as well too is, like, the world's fucking wild out there, man. It's wild craziness out there, and I think, like, slowing down and talking it out is an important thing to do, and when things are wild and crazy and you don't really know which direction's forward.
You got to listen to all sides, because, like, I don't know, something I struggle with sometimes is when I'm talking to people, they only, let's use the news, for example. They'll only either watch CNN or they'll watch Fox.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, not to get too down that rabbit hole, but I just think you got to listen to, can't just listen to one.
Yeah, there's more going on than just what's on there.
Exactly.
For sure.
And you gotta listen to, not to say that if you listen to Fox and CNN, you'll get the whole picture.
Yeah, no, I don't think you'll
But
get. I think you'll get.
I think
like,
the point is that you gotta take in all sides, and you gotta make a objective and, like, balanced assessment.
Yeah,
and I think that's how you feed. That's how you. Yeah,
you got to think for yourself, sheeple.
Yeah, that's how you.
Next. Okay. So maybe this is a good segue to talk about the name of our podcast.
That is a good point.
Two white guys in a wheelchair. When I was the one who kind of pitched that to Eric. When I first pitched that to you, what were some of the first things?
I was a little apprehensive.
Yeah. Why?
Well, when you get into the whole two white guys part, I mean, I like it now. I obviously like it a lot since you broke it down for me. But when you hear that off the top, it's like, well, what the fuck?
It's a little provocative. It's
like two white guys. It's like, well, why do they have to be white? Like, why do they have to be guys? But that's not the point. It's because who we are.
Yeah.
So
Eric's a white guy.
What are your thoughts on it? I mean, it's your brainchild.
Yeah, I think it's an important title because of a couple things.
Let's hear it.
One, I think, one from what I just said, I think it's a bit provocative.
Yep.
And it gets people being like, oh yeah, like exactly what you said. It's like, yeah, why does it have to be like? But I think what's important is that it's your and I show.
Yep.
And it's important to represent and say who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
And to give an opinion or to say
a bit of a background on us a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it serves two purposes, and it's like, and then as well too,
and a wheelchair.
And a wheelchair, exactly, and that's one of the things I was a bit hesitant to bring up because.
But it actually serves, like, I think a major purpose.
Yeah, I think so as well too. And that, did you want to say more about it? Yeah.
Well, when you hear and a wheelchair, it's like, oh, that might be a different perspective right there. So 100%. I don't know.
100% that. And then I think too is like we live in a time where people are maybe scared to ask about different.
Oh, for sure they are.
And I think like one of the best things to do is like, especially kind of how, like I was your friend before this major life-changing thing, and I'm your friend afterwards. But it's also been, it's been important to recognize, and then also, recognize like, oh, like, life changes and life is different for you.
Yep.
And it's, as your friend, it's like, it's important for me in order to like us to maintain that friendship. There's like some things that pop up where it's like you have to ask.
You have to, and like I think at the end of the day, I don't know. It really goes to show who the real ones are. It does, because some people just they can't hack it, and that's fair. If you don't think that you're able or wanting to have that element in your life, fuck it, fair enough. But when there are people that I've been friends with for a long time, and I'm still friends with, it means a lot. So,
and I think there would be more of those people in the life, because it's a scary thing, because it's like no one wants to hurt someone else's feelings.
No, it sucks,
right? But it's like,
unless they're not nice.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. But I think it's like there's an element of like, oh fuck, I don't know what I should say here. I'm just not going to say anything and
There's a
ignore it.
lot of that.
And so it's like, and then it's like, oh, you lose so much from the other, like so much in your life from not asking that question.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think,
and I actually like talking about, my injury. Well, not you haven't to break it down, I guess. I don't like what happened, obviously, but I like talking about it and having people to try and understand what happened to me. Not in like oh, how did the injury work, but more like, what is your life like now, and how can I, be a, not that people are always like, what can I do to help, but like being a part of my experience.
Yeah, and I think for both of us, it's also like this is a kind of a platform for us to explore that a little bit.
Oh, for sure it is.
And bring people on who are like, who know more shit about it. And
like, for example, my ICU nurse, Paula, she is someone that would be really cool to ask some of this stuff about, because she was there for all of it, to give background.
Yeah.
When I first got hurt in April 30th of 2015, blah, 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 make it back to Foothills ICU, and she was my nurse, my main nurse, and she was just an angel. Yeah,
and there's also, I think, like, and I don't have the specific way, and, I'm excited to kind of explore this. I think there's, like, skillful ways you can bring up, like, wanting to ask someone about.
Oh, for sure.
Like, if I was a random person, like, I don't think it'd be that kosher to, like, the first time I meet you go like, hey man, tell me about your injury. What happened to you?
Okay, so literally.
But it's like, it's like, but there's also times where it's like, okay, there's still Erik the person, and it's like, okay, let's talk to Erik the person first, and then eventually we can talk about that. But it's like,
lot of it falls on the person who's injured. Like if I'm going out in public and I'm by myself, a lot of how I act and how people act is going to be based on how I approach people and how I broach a conversation. So, for example, if I'm out buying a bottle of wine and I got to be like, there's a whole, like, how am I going to pay for it? Yeah. I have to ask. And I have to be very polite. And that's how you go about it. You can't be like, hey, motherfucker, I got to pay for this. Go grab my wallet. Yeah. You got to be like, hey, man, sorry about this. Like, I can't grab it myself. Can you please help me out? And people don't obviously feel comfortable asking, like you said, those questions off the bat. Yeah. And it's on, it's on people like us to be like, hey, I need help with certain things. Can you? And, you have to be patient. But, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, so when it comes to the name, so I think that's part of it. And it's like it's part of Erik's story. Yeah, right?
For sure.
And then I think like the white guys thing, one, it's
I love it.
Yeah. It's like, but also like we're both like what is it called?
Socially aware.
Yeah. But also like, we're both like white presenting, right? But we also for any white person, there's intersectionalities with that. Like for me, I got a bit of Italian heritage in me. For you, it's Norwegian, which is like pretty white, but
I'm not.
Yeah, but I think like there's a lot of value in like for a white person or a white facing person to like talk about what that means
and what it's like
and break it
not
down.
Exactly that it's
and it's like not necessarily it's it's something about who you are, right?
Yeah,
and then I think it's important like Calgary is like a super cosmopolitan city, so there's people from all different races, all different backgrounds, all different in socioeconomic classes. And I think it's important to have like a wide variety of those people to come on and talk to, because everyone's experience is a little bit different, but it's also there's so much more than meets the eye always. And I think that's an important thing to look into and talk about and discuss and discover. Agree. Because if you come into a conversation, or if you peg someone as, oh, this is this person right away, it's like you do the whole thing a disservice.
I agree. If you're not actually
no,
I agree.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about the name. So That's us, two white guys in a wheelchair. You can add us on Instagram. We don't have an Instagram yet.
Oh,
but
we will.
Oh, we
And
will.
it's gonna be
We will.
banging.
Add us on Twitter at two white guys in a wheelchair. You can follow Eric at Eric. What's your Instagram?
Eric Dixon with 2 N's.
Okay, Eric Dixon with 2 N's, or you can follow me R_D Dominicus, spelled just like how it sounds.
Have you been looking at the memes I send you?
Some of them, a lot of them are dog related.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been enjoying.
I
them.
always see the ones and I'm like, Violet.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I have a 6-year-old wiener dog named Violet.
Yep. And she's awesome.
She's a short hair. She stopped barking at Eric. Finally.
She knows I'm part of the pack.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. I hope. Yeah.
My girlfriend and I, we've been working on her not barking at people. She's
Do you give her treats? A snap in the treat?
yeah, we're in a class right now through the Humane Society.
Yeah, they're doing
It's
a good
called
job.
Reactive Rovers.
Is it expensive?
I don't think so. Nina was the one who paid for it, so I don't know what
I don't think so.
I don't think it was that. It's 6
Good.
classes. I don't think it was crazy expensive.
You get the bill, you're like,
Oh, snap. Yeah, she paid for it, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're chilling.
Yeah. I'm just she's the breadwinner. I'm just what do you call it?
Is she? Oh, you're like the trophy husband.
I'm the trophy husband. That's my, I've been wanting to be a trophy husband
Accurate
since I was a
description.
small boy. And now I get to live out my dream.
Is she working right now? I thought she was doing like the.
No, she has a
thesis.
small. She's doing her master's. She's not working at all. She's.
No, I didn't think so. But she's doing like a thesis thing, right? That she has to defend soon or something like that.
Yeah, I think she's doing a defense in the summertime.
Nice.
So, yeah. She doesn't want me to talk about her too much on this. So
Well, she's very smart.
yeah. She's very smart, love her, and also love my dog.
Yep.
Violet.
What's next on the old docket?
All right, next on the docket. Here we go. Open it up. So we have. Let's see. It goes back to short, medium, long-term goals. So, yeah. So I guess
It kind of falls into what we
yeah.
were talking about.
Yeah. So for you, it's just getting in the interviews.
I'd like to establish a bit of a routine,
Yeah.
short-term goal, and get some notoriety at some point. That'd be more of a medium
nice.
to long-time goal.
I like how you went with notoriety, not fame.
You want to hear this little story here?
Yeah.
So I've been working on my vocabulary lately, just like looking at random words, hearing things on TV and movies, and
Reading the
looking up,
dictionary.
I'll jot it in my phone if I hear a word. I'm like, I'm gonna use that. I learned this word a while back, and we had John over last night when I was getting ready for bed, and he just talks and talks and talks, and I love him, but he can rant. And he chirped me. I can't remember what he said, and I look at him, and I'm like, "What if I told you you were a loquacious cunt?" And he was like stunned because he didn't know what loquacious meant. And he was just
What does it mean?
It means you like to talk a lot, or that you are a person that like just talks really fast. And he was just flabbergasted. Everyone was laughing, and I won the battle last night. It felt good.
Nice. You beat him in the game of wits.
Yep.
The game of wits. My brother Malcolm and I, we play the game of wits, and
Nice.
it's one of those games that it's like a silly game that has no rules.
Yep.
And the only way you win is you just go like, it's like, because a battle of wits is like, like who can like come off that they're
You can
smarter.
outwit the other.
Yeah, and we just go wits, and whoever says wits first wins. But then, it gets pretty ridiculous pretty quick.
Good old Malcolm.
All right, so short term for you is routine,
More of a structure to it.
get some like kind of
get our foot in the door.
get our social media account up and running.
Yep.
At Twitter, at Two Guys in a Wheelchair on Twitter and
I think, will
Instagram.
be our big one.
Yeah.
Twitter's great. It's just I'm not very good at tweeting.
Yeah, me neither. But
I'm decent.
TikToks.
Yep, TikTok
Yeah,
is
at
hilarious.
two white guys in a wheelchair.
There we go.
And I don't know what are other social medias. Facebook. Should we have a Facebook group for our older audience?
For our parents and stuff. Maybe. at some point.
At Two White Guys in a Wheelchair on Facebook. Actually, just ignore those other things we said. We're only doing a Facebook group. Yeah. Okay, medium-term goals. What are your... So kind of we got here.
That would be the notoriety part where people are like, oh, have you heard about these guys?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, yeah. We are those guys.
Yeah. Have you heard about these 2 white guys in a wheelchair doing a podcast?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh. Okay, what's next?
Long-term goals. So where do you see this in 5?
In like 5 years?
Let's do 1, 5, 10.
Okay, 1 year, I think we have our structure down. We're pumping out videos, editing them, getting them out. I think in 5 years, we would have to look at what we're thinking in terms of our goals and where we are. I don't really know what I think of those questions. It's hard for me to describe it, but I have it like an idea in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you?
So I think 1 year as well too is like I'd really like to either get near. I think it's an ambitious but doable goal of 2 to 3 podcasts per week.
Yeah, I think so.
For up until like 1 year from now. And I think that's going to kind of really, who's it? I think it's Stephen Covey. He's like this self-help guy. He's got this one thing, and it's like it's the 7 principles of highly effective people.
Yep.
And one is sharpening the saw. So I think that's going to help us sharpen our skills in this format, medium, whatever.
Okay.
So it's just going to get us to a place where, all right, we kind of know what we're doing.
We're honing the craft.
Exactly.
Yep.
5 years.
That's a tough one.
Probably trying to run against Joe Rogan in the
podcast arena.
No, I was going to say, I think that the world's going to get like so totally crazy. I think that there's going to be some sort of one world government. So probably run against Joe Rogan as for world government president. Yeah. 10 years. Try and upload us our consciousness. 10 years from now, hopefully we have so much content built up of conversations that we can upload some sort of consciousness to either the cloud or something like that, so that we can kind of live on forever in a digital medium.
That'd be really cool. I don't know how. I'd like to have some sort of physical, form.
You ever watch Altered Carbon?
Yep.
So something like that. For the viewers who don't know that, it's like basically they have like either a clone and you're just like a little. You're kind of like a little SD. You're like a little SD card, in cameras, and then they plug you in the back of. They plug you in the back of the neck of a body of like a
skin.
Yeah, that's what they call it, right? A skin. Yeah, and then so you're like still in the physical world, but your
consciousness is in this little disc.
Yeah, it's in like
you get a new person whenever you want an upgrade or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That can get tricky real quick.
Yeah, so those are kind of the short, medium, long term for me.
Okay.
All right. So we've already talked about the vision. It asks us here, what are our main competitors? So
Joe Rogan.
Right now, obviously, well, that's kind of...
He's
my hero.
Yeah, me too.
Him and Lex Friedman. Those are kind of like the inspos, kind of.
If I actually had to say I had a hero, it'd be, obviously my dad, but other than the dad...
Yeah.
Because everyone's heroes, their dad.
Yeah. Well, not everyone, but lots of people.
Yeah, lots of people. But other than that, Joe McGinley. Yep.
Get Joe, that would be a good goal. Get Joe McGinley on the pod.
We could. I'll try.
That'd be sick.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Anyone who has a connect to Joe McGinley?
I've met him a few times.
That's sick. I haven't met him, but I've watched him play hockey lots.
Yep. He's a good guy.
Or Joe McGinley, if you're out there and you want to be on the podcast,
feel free, baby.
Feel free to reach out on our Facebook group. We have an intern monitoring the messages of our Facebook group.
We'll tag you.
Yeah,
something
on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah. So competitors, I don't know the competitors.
I have no idea.
When I look up like Calgary in Spotify, there's a couple like realtors. There's like the Calgary real estate market.
Exactly.
There's so much like real estate content.
Oh my God.
But it's like I'm 100% positive.
There's
like even in this studio space, there's a couple like other podcasts being recorded here, but there's nothing that's like
our idea
or like there's nothing that I see
immediate,
Calgary specific where it's like something similar.
an immediate competitor.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, so I haven't seen that yet, as of yet, but we shall see. We shall see as we do more market research.
Okay. Well, okay.
You want to go to the next thing,
Yes,
or were you
let's
thinking
go
of
to the next
saying something?
No, I was not.
All right.
I was thinking, but
Yeah. I get you. That happens to me all the time. What do you dislike about your competitors?
I dislike that we have not enough examples.
Yep.
But at the same time, I kind of like that we don't.
Yeah, it is nice. But I would say for our competitors out there in the Calgary podcasting space, reach out. We'd love to have you on.
Yep.
Tell us about your podcast.
Yep.
We'd love to
have a podcast fight. We can organize that as well.
Yeah.
Just animate a little our logo versus their logo.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were gonna get like all lubed up. In like a what do they call those fights? Or like in a mud pit or something.
Yeah, the mud pit.
Yeah, we're yeah.
I that's like an anxiety I have.
Mud pits?
Well, just like a crowded fight where you can't really get your footing.
I've had dreams like that. You know, like when you have dreams where you're like trying to get away from something, or you're trying to like
those are the worst.
Reach out, but you can't move.
I have them, but like I'm floating to the ceiling and I like can't stop. I'm like a helium balloon.
Oh, like the Willy Wonka, like you remember the first Willy Wonka?
I'm like trying to like get back down, but I can't.
Yeah. Oh, here's AJ. AJ with the coffee break. Our coffee break today is sponsored by Studio Luma. Thanks Studio Luma for our coffee break. And maybe the other stuff that you do for us as well too, but mostly the coffee break. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you, AJ.
Yeah. All right. So other Calgarian podcasters, reach out. We'd love to have you on, or just meet for a coffee, or I don't know, have a mud pit fight or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Number 7. Okay. What words describe your show?
Awesome, dope, balling.
Nice. This is from your vocabulary research?
Yep.
These are recent additions.
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. Lit.
Fire. I'd say spontaneous. I would say sincere, intimate. I would also say it's forthright.
What does that mean?
Like we're honest about what we're talking about. We're trying to bring it to bring it to the front.
Yeah.
What about you?
Authentic. I think that's important for us.
That's a big one.
And I think it's a fine. I think we were talking about a bit about this before we started recording. It's a bit of a fine line that we're kind of learning.
Navigating here.
Yeah, navigating. It's a lot tougher because it's a bit tougher than you'd think, because you want to respect people's privacy. You don't want to just like, oh yeah, like
start blurting names.
Yeah, these are all the problems I have with my parents.
Yeah, or like hey,
my girlfriend.
This one person broke the law. Let me say their name online.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an interesting kind of tightrope that we're learning. Yeah, learning to walk.
It's also I think it's good exercise, really.
Yeah, brainer size or something like that.
Yeah, but it works. And hey, we're learning along the way, but I don't think we're abusing our power right now.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, our privilege, our white guy privilege.
Hey.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we're learning. We're learning as we go here. Yeah. Where is that? Where do we intersect at the intersection of privilege and oppression? I think those are the two things that intersect. We should have someone from sociology.
Oh yeah,
we need like a big sociology person on to give us.
I don't even know what I think about that. Hopefully, we don't get canceled or
Yeah.
But I don't think we would. But I mean,
I don't know. I think as long as we approach it,
I don't think I really have any that like insane opinions on.
Yeah. I just think like women shouldn't vote, and Yeah, that's about it. I'm just kidding. Women should be allowed to vote.
When was that? When did that happen?
I remember learning about it in school. It was like in Canada it was like the big,
Because
they called them like the Big Five or something like that, or I'm probably butchering this,
I
but
think the women in the U.S. got the right to vote in like the 20s.
yeah.
Because I was watching Boardwalk Empire.
Oh yeah.
And that's where
Who's the main guy in that? What's his name?
Enoch Thompson.
Yeah.
Lucky Thompson.
Yeah. No. What's the actor?
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, okay, Steve Buscemi. Hello, fellow kids.
He is awesome.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. But in terms of women's suffrage in Canada, I remember learning about it, and it's like there was a group of five, or I don't know. It's like we should have someone who knows more about that on that. We need one of our old social studies teachers, or maybe a current social study teacher on.
Not a bad idea.
Who knows how to who knows a bit about women's suffrage. That'll be good.
They I wonder what year that was. I don't even know.
I can't remember. I remember learning about it. It was 5 women, and they were like the leaders, and then they got it, and hurrah! But that wasn't the end. It was just the beginning.
It's a very complicated topic now, especially.
Well, yeah, I think anything that has to do with gender and that's why I wanted to name our podcast "Two White Guys in a Wheelchair" as well too, because
it's a huge
it's a huge thing. It's on the top of people's minds, and I think it's an important thing to talk about. It's just like figure out where this boat's going.
Yeah,
and
before we get too much into that too, because that's a 24-hour conversation right there.
Yeah.
What do we have next on the list?
Yep. So after words to describe the show. Who are our potential viewers? Who are the viewers? You right there. Who do we think you are?
I think our viewers are so cool that people just can't handle their coolness.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Like it's actually like a radioactive sort of energy that comes off of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of feel the heat now, and no one's even viewed this yet.
Nope.
But I can feel like the preheat is coming like through the camera, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just hot.
The atoms are splitting.
Yeah. It's like I'm warm now. I'm starting to sweat.
But I think our viewers are people that are looking for the same stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that they're going to be for the most part, I would think pretty cool, calm, and collected dudes and gals, and they're just looking for a nice little convo, audio, visual thing that they can chill and listen to, and hopefully get something out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think the viewers are people who live in Calgary doing cool stuff. So
yep, exactly.
Hopefully, we get people in Calgary doing cool stuff to watch as well too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or if you're not doing anything cool but interested in people who are doing interesting things in the city, maybe those people as well too. And then also the people who are loosely connected to us. I'm hoping that at least like some of our friends and family watch it.
I think better.
It was funny. My girlfriend was telling me about a podcast that she listens to, and like her mom is like, and this podcaster, I don't know who she is, but whoever she is, was telling like an anecdote about her mom and saying like, yeah, my mom doesn't even listen to my podcast. She's just like, what she said is like, I don't think I'm your main demographic. I was thinking about that. It's like, I don't know. I don't think my mom might, maybe she'll watch to support, but
I bet my mom will watch.
Yeah.
Same sort of deal. She'll be like, oh, good job.
Go you. I don't get it, but go you.
This is serious.
Yeah. Mom, the meatloaf. Fuck.
Trying to impress my friends.
So I think what we have here is like Calgarians, people looking to fill their day with interesting, fun, and constructive conversation. We'll do our best to kind of keep it positive. I think address big issues.
We'll bring it back.
But bring it back, keep it positive. And
at the end of the day, we're good.
Yeah.
We're chilling.
Yeah. And I think like that's an important thing, part of the podcast. And I think that you and I have talked about as well too, is that, life is tough out there.
life is tough, and we can talk about it.
Yeah,
at the end
and
of the day.
it's okay to say that things
It
aren't
is
going
hard.
aren't going
100%.
my way, or things are not 100%. But
Yeah,
what's important is that like it's okay to reach out and tell that to people and talk about that, because those people are gonna you surround yourself with the right people. Those people are gonna empathize with you, and they're gonna lift you up.
and you
and
have
they're
the support.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, next one. How many episodes / seasons?
Well, I think we should do annual seasons.
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
We can do themes. I'm so excited for Christmas.
Should we do it like The Last of Us, where it's kind of like thematic, where it's like per quarter or per season, so it's like winter, summer, winter, spring, summer, fall.
I think we could do something like that. What
Yeah.
do you think? Because I like the annual idea.
I haven't thought about this at all. I've just been thinking, interview as many people as
Yeah.
possible.
True.
I think we could do, because I don't really like the format of like when
We're going
they
to do the
take a-
public ones too, though.
Yeah.
We have to figure that out at some
By
point.
public ones, you mean?
Out in public.
Oh yeah, like when we're on the street.
Mobile setup.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking a lot about that, like during Stampede, during fucking Flames, playoffs.
A good one would be
during concerts.
what's the one on 4th Street? It's like
Oh, the Lilac Festival.
the Lilac Festival would be a good one
That's
too.
a great one.
That'd be fun. There's lots of like outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think it'd be it'd be good for summertime to get out
I
and
think so too. And
get
it'd be a
outside.
really fun activity.
yeah, and healthy for both of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's next on the docket?
How will your character act, speak, dress? What do you want your viewers to see?
Well,
I want them to see us.
how do you like
The
your
real
How do you
us.
like your outfit today?
I like it. I like my shirt.
I like your outfit. Are you wearing jeans?
I'm wearing jeans.
Yeah. I only wear Lululemon pants exclusively because
Oh,
they're
nice.
soft.
Shout
and
out to
I can't really-
Lululemon. Please sponsor us.
That'd be really sick. I got my North Face hoodie on.
Nice.
I
Shout out to
almost
North
put
Face. Please sponsor us.
A bit of coffee on it. And then
Shout out to
I got my
Coffee,
rings.
please
I got
sponsor
my,
us.
My Nike shoes on. I think I look pretty good today.
I think you look good too.
Thank you.
I like the accessories, the rings.
Yeah, my Tom
You got a
Ford
fresh cut
glasses.
from yesterday. You're looking good. Yeah, you got a nice goatee going on.
They call it the Spanish goatee apparently, where you cut out the
Yeah, very Latin.
connectors.
Very Latin. I like it.
See,
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I think I have an idea, but I want to discuss it with you off camera
That's fine.
Yeah, I think you'll like it, but yeah.
I'm excited. To be continued.
Yeah, TBD. Yeah, what we have written down is cool, comfortable, warm.
Yep.
Yeah, warm place.
Yeah, we're very warm. I run warm.
Yep, me too. I run hot as well too.
Yeah.
I've been going out like yesterday and today. I've been running a little extra hot. I don't know why, but I've been going out just in shorts and a shirt
I get
to
it,
take
man.
Violet to use the washroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's
nice when you're running
like
hot to get like a
a
little.
cold shock. It's like
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah, I think so as well too.
Um,
All right. What is the style that you want to create? These ones are getting like more and more. Okay, we're almost done here. So
okay,
that's good.
stylistically, I think we're going to do similar to like Joe. I think.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
We have Rogan with more color. That's what we
But
have written
actually,
down
though,
here.
because it's like look at our studio.
Yeah, his is
Is it-
red as well too.
It
But this
is.
is like I don't
But
know.
it's also similar colors and backgrounds and shapes and sizes.
Yeah,
So I think I don't know.
yeah,
But stylistically, when we do it outside, that'll be a big thing too.
yeah,
How we set it up.
yeah. A bit more informal.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool too, though.
Okay. What message or emotion do you want to show or portray?
Well, to anyone watching, I think at the end of the day, I think that if you try, and if you are open minded, and you are, willing to receive some help, at the end of the day, I think you'll be okay.
100%. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I fall along the same way there,
Yeah.
where it's like no. I think that getting across the point that no, this is a bit gender, but no man is an island.
Yep.
And that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah, who said that?
I have no idea. Someone famous, maybe.
I remember that quote.
But
that's a great point. Like, honestly, like, if you are out there and you're struggling with something and you don't know what to do, take a second and, take a breath and just think, who do you care about the most? And who cares about you? And how can you get, help from them? Or how do you persevere through whatever you're going? Just know that'll be okay. And that there are people that care.
100%. 100%. Does our show have a tagline?
I don't know if I can say that on the internet.
Oh, okay.
What's a good one? Not yet, hey?
No, I don't think so. Right here we have TBD.
TBD?
Yeah.
2 white guys in a wheelchair could be like,
white guys,
wheelchair.
white guys, wheelchair, white guys, wheelchair, white guys, wheelchair, white guys, wheelchair, white guys, wheelchair. That sounded a bit scary. Maybe
we'll tone it down.
Yeah, we can find something else.
We'll fine tune that bad boy.
Yeah. We want to evoke
a very
probably
intense,
a bit more of a calmer.
Yeah.
You want.
Well, we can either go battle cry or we can go like battle like chill.
Battle chill. Yeah, I think that is as well too.
What's next on the docket now? We're getting pretty close there.
Yeah, this is the last one on here, and it's select characteristics you would like to represent. So this is kind of
character. Well, I mean, I don't want to portray anything I'm not. At the end of the day, so, I can't walk. That's first up. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
But you can roll.
But I can roll, and I can, especially with the punches, I can roll too. Yeah. And the flow, I go with it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Same. I think. Just do your best to represent you. And, that can be harder than it sounds sometimes.
It does. And especially when you're in front of a camera and, it's recording, it's live or whatever. You got to be, I think you got to take a second and be like, whoa, okay, relax.
Yeah. What sounds good versus what do I actually want to
sound like?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Right here we say steady, collected, responsible, relatable, good sense of humor, empathetic, understanding. And yeah, that's the only thing I would add to that is because I think we do our best to represent those things in our kind of day-to-day life. And I think just bringing that onto the podcast, I think that's what we're trying to do. And and, but also not, not also trying to say that, like pretending to be perfect or something that you're not just to like look good or something like that. Yeah, but to actually be like, all right, this is actually what I think, and I'm a human being, and human beings make mistakes, and
judge me how you will.
Yeah,
sort of thing. Yeah,
100%. Go with grace. Give us some grace. Yeah, and to give some grace back. Yeah, and that's it for in terms of our
mission statement.
Yeah, like our mission statement. That's about it. What else do you want to talk about?
There's a few things. I'm doing like a big home reno right now.
Big home reno.
I'm going to.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. You're painting.
So when Dave moves out on March 31st, I'm gonna paint. I'm gonna fix all the holes in the walls.
Nice.
I'm gonna have a tech guy come by and sync all my stuff up.
Nice.
I'm gonna organize my room.
Nice.
Throwing out a lot of garbage.
Hell yeah.
I'm redoing the office. I'm getting new furniture, and I'm gonna do the backyard. With like new furniture and like I need a landscaper to come by. So if anyone knows any good landscapers, I'm in need.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that'll be cool. It's gonna be weird. I've lived with Dave since like 2015.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be out on his own. I'm proud of him. I am. It's just gonna be a little weird at first, I think, but
just different.
It's fine.
Yeah. And you got someone else moving in.
Eddie May.
Yeah. Shout out to
good old Edward. Squidward.
Yeah. Hell yeah. How long have you lived in your house now? Oh, and question.
This is 2019.
What, in terms of an accessible house, what is important?
Well, you got to be able to get it. So we have a ramp in the garage.
That makes sense.
Yeah. We have a ramp in the garage and an elevator that goes from, it's only 2 stories, so up and down.
Yeah.
My bungalow. But I think, well, it depends on what your injury is. Like, wide doors are huge because if you have narrow doors, narrow hallways, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
A lot of space. You got to have an accessible bathroom, which is so important, and you got to be able to get in and out of bed properly. Like I have a ceiling track, which is basically this big old metal bar, and you hang it in your room, and then there's the lift that puts me in and out of bed to my chair and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
all that type of stuff is super important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Interesting. And
what would you think is like important? Being an upright.
Being an upright. Is that what you call us?
Yeah.
It's like mudblood.
Yeah, basically. I like this guy bumped me out of Flames game hard.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and gave me a look. I was like, what do you like? I called him an upright and he had no idea what to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
He bumped me like this. And I was like, what the hell? Look at him. He's looking at me like, what? I'm like, you fucking upright? He's like, what?
Yeah.
Like he was walking away he was just thinking about what I said. I was like, did you just call me an upright?
That's funny. I don't know. Yeah, I guess like just kind
accessibility.
Yeah, like for you it seems like
Well, I think the most important things are getting into businesses like establishments is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And just awareness. Yeah.
What for getting around, how is the cab system? And have you used a cab system somewhere like in a different places?
Oh yeah. In Victoria and BC it's shit.
Okay. What
it's really bad.
What are some differences that you've noticed?
Well, in Calgary we have something like 60 accessible cabs. And in Victoria there are like 8.
Oh wow.
For like the entire city.
Okay, so like not a lot.
Really bad, and you can't get a hold of them very well at all. The wait is forever. It's super expensive. So,
yeah,
here is really good. Fare, like cab fare is pretty relatively, normal.
Yeah, is it priced to like a regular cab?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, and the guys are good. They work hard. The cabbies. I know a lot of them now, and they're hardworking people. So
yeah,
I've had occasionally bad ones, but not really that often.
Yeah, more good than bad.
Exactly.
Is what are so let's say you get dropped off late at night or something like that.
Yeah. Do I pay or
no? Like does a driver help you get into your house? Okay.
I can open up the garage on my phone.
Okay.
All I gotta do is pay and zip inside. I'm good to go.
Okay. If you were in a case where like that broke or something like that,
then I'd be calling whoever's inside, and then if no one was there, I would need their help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're
comfortable with that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just that was one of the, I think that popped in my head the other day.
Because a lot of the times they're very apprehensive about like what you need help with because they don't know either.
Yeah. Because it's like I think it comes down to like that line between like what's needed for help and like dignity as well too, because it's like it's also I'm sure feels like really nice to like be able to do something for yourself.
It's very nice. Like take the mall for example. I love going to the mall.
Yeah,
I like being able to go there by myself and do whatever.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's one of the things because there's like it's also like a fine line, and I think requires like the person interacting like to ask a lot of like ask questions as well too, and then I guess like when you get to know someone and is what like in your case is like you know what you can do and can't do, and then it's like okay like do you want help with this? Like sometimes you're like no I'm good. And other times like oh hey, can
which is so nice when people are actually like hey man like do you need anything like and I'm like oh I'm okay I can do it and they're like oh dope. That's nice.
Yeah, and then just kind of like leaving it at that. It doesn't have to be like a big thing or anything like that.
Exactly.
It's just like,
it's what it is.
Yeah.
So, You know what I was thinking about?
What?
The word anecdotally.
Hmm.
You use that quite often.
Yeah.
How do you use that in a sentence? I'm going to sound so dumb here.
No, for me, anecdotally just means like in my experience. So it's like,
okay.
it doesn't mean that what I'm saying is true. It just means
Anecdotally,
what I've experienced. This
I
is
see.
this is what's happened.
I see. I should have just
It's like,
that, but
yeah. So
wasn't
like,
sure.
it could be like, you know, anecdotally for me, what I've experienced is most people are
Really good.
good and friendly and
Yep.
and want, you know,
Just
and want to help
a good life,
you. Yeah.
Exactly.
But then like maybe like statistics show, oh, that's actually not the
Yeah,
case.
people
But it's
are
like,
evil.
yeah, or like, or medium, right?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Or it's like the other one is like, anecdotally, like I think I'm a pretty good driver, like compared to the other people
Yeah.
I want. But like statistically, I'm probably just average compared to everyone
Yeah, I
else,
was
right?
wondering that.
Yeah.
I was watching this meme on Instagram, Family Guy one, when Quagmire and Peter are doing the songs. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
There is one of them, and it is so goddamn funny. I was like crying.
Yeah.
Laughing. It was just.
Which songs do they
It was
do?
like they do these like folk songs. Quagmire
Yeah.
and Peter. They like start up a little duet band.
Yeah.
And they're like, the lyrics are just. I shouldn't say it, but the lyrics are just ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll show you later.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, I really gotta pee.
Yep.
So
Should we pause it?
yeah,
for a bit?
I think I don't really know how to do that. And we're back.
Yo.
Feeling a lot lighter. Feeling a lot better.
I feel that.
Yeah, feeling a lot more focused.
Even though I just ingested some delicious coffee.
Yeah. Nothing wrong
What's your
with that.
favorite? How do you like your coffee? You like it black, right?
Sometimes it depends. It really depends on how I'm feeling. Like sometimes I
Really?
want a latte. Sometimes I want a cappuccino. Sometimes I like milk in my coffee. Sometimes I like black coffee.
I need milk in my coffee. I can't drink it black. I just can't.
At Tim Hortons and McDonald's, I like double doubles.
Yep.
So it's 2 creams, 2 sugars.
I remember when I first got into coffee at like grade 10 or whatever, we get double doubles from Tim's. But I've seen people order like quadruples.
For me, it was the
Like
triple
triple
that introduced me to the coffee world.
I couldn't.
It's just like a sweet, it's just
this
sugary
is a
drink.
Sugary fuel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So where were we were talking about
We were talking about
just the name,
yeah, we were talking about the name a little bit.
wheelchair stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about the wheelchair stuff.
It's yeah. So I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it serves a productive and useful purpose.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess I wanted to posit a question to you.
Sure, let's hear it.
So it mainly has to do with what we just talked about. So I think we really covered what the podcast is about.
Yep.
What
we're
trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
And how we're kind of trying to accomplish it a little bit. And I guess my question to you is, did you want to end this episode here, or did you want to get into?
I think we could end it here because we hit on a lot of topics, and I think we cleared a lot of questions.
Yeah, and I find that it in terms of like,
we don't want to drag it on.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, I feel like this is a natural, like,
yeah,
good job.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think as well too.
Okay. It's 5:11.
Yeah. What are you doing for the rest of the evening?
I'm starving, so I
Yeah.
want to eat some food.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat some food and.
What are you doing on Thursday?
I have no idea.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't know. Do you want to do something on the weekend or something?
Yeah. Let's figure it out.
And I can come by with Violet or something.
Yeah.
I'll make dinner for. I'll order dinner for everyone.
I like that. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Cool.
Well, thanks everyone, and bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye. All right.
All right.
Dappa-doo, 2 white guys in a wheelchair.